These are the top 10 craziest moments. These are media moments. They are political moments. These are clips we have shown you throughout the year. We went through I assure you, to whittle it down to just 10 with some of the idiocy that is on MSNBC and The View and a whole bunch more. It was not easy, but here we go. So we're going to do the top 10 moments. You're going to remember some of these. Some of them you may forgot, and some of them you may wish you forgot. Here is number 10.
In Massachusetts right now, those crisis pregnancy centers that are there to fool people who are looking for pregnancy termination help outnumber true abortion clinics by 3 to 1. We need to shut them down here in Massachusetts, and we need to shut them down all around the country. You should not be able to torture a pregnant person like that.
Man, I know you guys remember that one because we played it a couple of times and it was only a couple weeks ago. And you should not be able to torture a pregnant person like that. You shouldn't be able to torture a pregnant person. That's what we call a woman, right? And having a baby, usually most women say that's the biggest blessing in their lives, that this is the most wonderful thing they could possibly do. And what that woman wants, Elizabeth Warren, that crazy communist who is worth millions and millions of dollars, who sends her kids to private school while she's against vouchers and all of those things. What she wants is dead babies. She wants a lot of dead babies and a lot of dead brown and black babies, actually. She's a bad, bad woman. I don't like her very much. And hopefully that's the last time I have to think about Elizabeth Warren for the summer. Here is number 9.
50,000 Ukrainians will be dead or wounded, and that this is going to start a humanitarian crisis, a refugee crisis in Europe. We're talking about 5 million people that are going to be displaced. I mean, it's heartbreaking to hear what is going to happen.
Well, I'm scared of what's going to happen in Western Europe, too. You know, you plan a trip, you want to go there. I want to go to Italy for 4 years. I haven't been able to make it because of the pandemic. And now this, you know, it's like, what's going to happen there?
I mean, of all of the clips of the insanity on The View, right? Like, this was a nutty week for The View this week with Joy Behar and Whoopi pretending that there were Nazis at the Turning Point event. Whoopi basically denying the Holocaust, that it had anything to do with race. Like, of all of the insane things that they have said on The View, that one really holds a special place. That they're talking about the war in Ukraine and the 5 million refugees and the lives lost and all of the stuff. And Joy can't go to Italy. Where is Joy Behar gonna get her mushroom risotto? She'll have to keep getting it on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, that poor woman. I mean, really just the myopic, self-absorbed insanity of the modern liberal is so perfectly encapsulated by the once sane Joy Behar. Here's number 8.
My mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why can't, for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation.
So that was about 2 weeks ago. It was the President of the United States announcing that he has cancer, having something to do with an oil slick way back when. And the reason I thought that one was funny is because for only 5 minutes did people care that the President of the United States said he had cancer, because pretty much everyone said, no, it's not that he has cancer, it's that he has dementia, so let's just let it slide. The White House issued a statement saying that it was actually just he screwed up the tense. He had cancer, meaning he's had some things removed. He does not have cancer. But it was just like a perfect example of the nonsense from this administration. This guy who can't do these anecdotes right anymore, who can't read these things right anymore. He thinks he has cancer. He doesn't know where he is. You know, it's just absolute insanity with this guy. And again, will he be president when I get back? I suppose we'll find out. Here's number 7.
President Biden, he is saying he's going to run again in 2024. Will you support him?
Yeah, you know, I think we should endorse when we get to it. But I believe that the president has been doing a very good job so far. And, you know, should he run again, I think that I think it's we'll take a look at it.
Okay.
But right now, we need to focus on winning a majority instead of a presidential election.
So the reason we wanted to throw that one in, and I take no great pleasure in showing you AOC videos, and trust me, there's a million things we could have shown you of her doing something stupid, is there was something bizarrely refreshing about AOC going on CNN and basically being like, no, we're done with Biden. And that's why she's laughing as she says it, because she knows it, but she knows she can't fully say it yet. But there was something kind of honest and refreshing about that. And the other thing is that was an interesting moment, because that was about a month ago now. And that was right when suddenly, if you remember before that, nobody in mainstream media was talking about what's wrong with Biden, right? Nobody was saying it. Yes, here we're saying it, online shows are saying it, Rogan's saying it, Shapiro's saying it, you're probably saying it in your own circles. But AOC did that, and then it was one of those airlock moments. You know how we have these weird airlock moments where we all know something's true, but for some reason it can't get through mainstream media. Oh, could there be a Wuhan lab leak? Everyone's talking about it online for 2 years. Then finally Jon Stewart goes on Colbert, he says it, and then everyone can start talking about it, right? Hunter Biden laptop, we're all talking about it online, but nobody's saying anything. Then finally New York Times 2 years later says something, now everybody's talking about it. That was sort of an airlock moment. AOC, we're all talking about something's not right with Biden. AOC goes there, laughs about it, boom. Now everyone's basically saying the Democrats are done with him and his time is up. So he's dead man walking. I just thought that was an interesting sort of seminal moment. Number 6.
It's Independence Day, so let's talk about what's going on in America. Freedom, it's under attack in your state. Your Republican leaders, they're banning books, making it harder to vote, restricting speech in classrooms, even criminalizing women and doctors. I urge all of you living in Florida to join the fight, or join us in California, where we still believe in freedom. Freedom of speech, freedom to choose, freedom from hate, and the freedom to love. Don't let them take your freedom.
Paid for by Newsom for California Governor 2020.
Ooh, the blood could boil, even though I don't live under that guy anymore. I mean, really the most evil person in American politics today. And that's why he's the perfect Democrat, and that's why he probably will be the nominee after Biden, because that's how this thing operates. The fact that swarmy, slimy, soulless, vapid nothing, that he dares even say the word freedom, is so vile. He hates freedom. You guys know all the stuff that he's done and all the lockdowns and the destruction of California, and that about 300,000 people have fled California and they've come here. We couldn't find it. We scoured the internet. Could we find one nutbag who moved from Florida to California in all of these last 2 years? We couldn't find any. U-Haul can't get trucks to go back that way. They go this way, so U-Haul's hurting. He's the number one U-Haul salesman. The guy is just absolutely the worst. Every single thing he said in that video was a lie, that they're coming for freedoms and they're banning books in Florida. Nonsense. Actually, in Cali, they're banning books because of words. They banned To Kill a Mockingbird in some California schools because of certain words they don't like. They're not coming for gays in Florida. Oh, he's just absolutely awful. You get it. Number 5.
The diversity of this community, as distinct as the Bogotas of the Bronx, as beautiful as the blossoms of Miami, and as unique as the breakfast tacos here in San Antonio, is your strength.
Of course, that was a couple of weeks ago. Dr. Jill Biden, who you always have to mention, she's a doctor, otherwise you're racist. And Dr. Jill, of course, who clearly has not examined her husband. She's also not that kind of doctor, but let's put that aside. Just the endless pandering. The reason that video went viral, because it was just the perfect example of the endless pandering that the Democrats do, much like Hillary Clinton. What does she do? She keeps hot sauce in her purse, right? Remember that? She keeps hot sauce in her purse when she's talking to black people, because black people must like spicy food, something like that. These people are just terrible, and they're getting hit with it at the end. Like, it's finally coming around where every time they do one of their pandering moments, Joe Biden, Trump's going to put you back in chains, and they use their fake accents when they're with these people and all of these things. It's like people are seeing it. They're so seeing right through it. It's just spectacular. Am I under assault right now? Is the internet coming for me? These are not sponsors of the show. I don't know what those things are. Number 4.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No.
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the
biologist.
meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition?
What a moment. I mean, that in some ways, we could have put that as number one, but I think you're going to dig the number one. But that moment when Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is now a Supreme Court justice, could not say what a woman is, and people kept saying, oh, it doesn't matter, it was a loaded question, blah, blah. And it's like, well, actually, look at all the gender stuff that has even exploded even more in the, say, 2 months since then, right now. And when you don't know what a woman is, then you don't know what a recession is, and you don't know what basic math is. These people do not want us to know anything that we do know, that we have always accepted as true. And that, in some ways, is the most seminal moment of the year. You know, speaking of our background freaking out a second ago, I should tell you guys, one of our little surprises for you when we get back in September, we're going to have an all-new background. You guys are going to be doing work. I'm going to be laying at the pool, but you guys are going to be busting your asses working in August. Here's number 3.
There was no mental health issue with the individual who stole the futures of 19 children in Uvalde, Texas.
All the crazy things that woman has ever said. Joy Reid. And Joy Reid is a racist and a buffoon and just total clown and all that stuff. And there's all these rumors that MSNBC is going to get rid of her. But the knee-jerk defense by the mainstream media and by people like her to say that this is only about guns, that these shootings are only about guns. I mean, her implication right there, I mean, really, if you really think about it, the implication, this young man goes into this school, he shoots 19 people, I think it ended up being 17 kids and 2 teachers, if I'm not mistaken. He had no mental health issues. By definition, if you do that, you have severe mental health issues. I cannot imagine there is a psychologist or a psychiatrist on earth that would say if you shoot all of these people unjustly, you murder in cold blood all of these children, you have no mental health issues. That is insane. She has mental health issues, truly. I truly believe that. That is a woman with serious mental health issues. But because they believe in narrative over reality, right? They believe in narrative over fact, she needs to throw out that. Because what does she want to happen when someone gets shot? It's immediately, well, how can we do this to infringe on other people's rights? How can we come for guns? What can we do politically to have more power over people? But again, in the theme of today, in these throwback clips, it's like more and more people are seeing it. More and more people are seeing that Gavin Newsom's a liar, that Elizabeth Warren wants to murder babies, that these people have no basic understanding of our rights or anything else. And here is number 2. I mean, sad, right? Like, it's sad. Again, like, I'm not a Biden guy. I don't like what this guy's done to the country. I don't think he knows what he's doing or where he is half the time. But that disrespect, that shade thrown by Obama, who I regret voting for twice. I really regret. I think Barack Obama has turned out to be an absolutely terrible person. He's just everything that I'm pushing against, right? The smugness, like, he knows they don't just let people touch him, right? People aren't just allowed to touch him. He knew that the president's hand was on his shoulder there, and he didn't care. That shit-eating grin while he's ignoring the president, and Kamala ignoring the president, and Biden not knowing where to go or who to talk to. And it's like, who's in charge, right? We always say, who's really in charge? And maybe we got a little glimpse of it right there as to who really is in charge. Because who seemed more in control of that room right there? Who were people excited to see right there? Was it Joe Biden? Hey, where am I? Someone talk to me, Barack. Or was it the guy, shit-eating grin? I mean, that's the definition of shit-eating grin, as he is ignoring the president of the United States. And this one, so you may ask, well, that Joy Reid one that I showed you before, Some of these, any of these could have been number one, but this is the one that clearly is number one, and you will understand why.
It's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just watch and learn. What did you learn that helped you there in those closing laps?
Oh, my God. It was learning how each line didn't stay to one. Everything shifted top to bottom so much that it was kind of like, okay, let's just stay patient where we're at and hope.
It's just so perfect. So in case you forgot, that was back in September, right? And that was the moment that kid, Brandon, NASCAR driver Brandon, he's being interviewed and everyone in the crowd is chanting, "Fuck Joe Biden." That's what they're saying, but the media runs cover. So instead she took "Fuck Joe Biden" and she turned it into "Let's Go Brandon," and it became a meme, and it's on t-shirts and everything else. By the way, we're going to give away a couple of these too today for people that sign up. If you go to RubinReport.com/support, you will get 3 months off an annual subscription, and we're just going to send out a whole bunch of shirts and a whole bunch of Rubin Report shirts and much more. But that really is the moment of the year. That really is the moment of the year, because that meme, it captured a feeling. It captured what we were all trying to say but couldn't quite figure out how to say it, maybe a little whatever. And it was funny and irreverent. And then, of course, the media started running all these stories that people who say "Let's Go Brandon" are white supremacists and all of the stuff. But also having the media cover for him. It was that, to me, is the moment of the year. So since last September to right now, that really, really was the moment of the year.